Good morning. I thought I would shoot a video on my Ford C Max today because on November 30th we celebrated the 1-year anniversary of when we bought the car, and I've been keeping track of all the energy flows. So on November 30th we went and fueled up the car, and I had exactly 1 year of MPG data and electrical consumption data and so forth. And so I wanted to do a report on a 1-year summary of the vehicle's efficiencies. So first I wanted to show you, I keep the data on a website called EcoModder, and they have a garage there where you can keep MPG reports on your vehicles. So this is an example of it. So as you can see, every time you fuel up the vehicle, you make an entry, and this one, I created 3 different fuel logs for the vehicle. This one was for trips, as you've seen written at the top, so it's significantly different than local driving. And I have 2 others. When we first got the car, we only had the 120 volt charger that came with the car, the EVSE that is, and so this is a log for 120 volt charging. Now the reason for that is because the charging efficiency is less at 120 volts than it is at 240. So it's like you improve the fuel efficiency of the vehicle when you go to 240 volt charging. Now this log is kind of short because it only ran from November 30th, 2016 to February 25th, 2017, when we got our 240 volt charger. So as you can see here, this is the 240 volt data, and so both of them together make up the whole year for our local driving. And as you may have noticed with the trip, it wouldn't seem like I'd have that much data for trips, but let's say I go to Oklahoma. It takes 2 days to get there, so I have to refuel each day. Then I have to refuel there, let's say, and I went to Denton, Texas, and I refueled there, and then I drove home and I refueled on the way back home, and then I refueled when I got back home. And I also got parks that I go to for the National Public Observatory. So if I go to City of the Rocks or Rockhound State Park, that requires refueling just to separate out the data for those trips. And so anyway, as you can imagine, on a trip, you might start out with 20 miles of plug-in electric only range, and you're going 400 miles a day, 300-400. So that 20 miles isn't going to buy you much efficiency. You're going to be primarily operating in hybrid mode and mostly on gasoline. So this will come up on this sheet here. This is everything broken down, and I'm showing it to you here, but I'm just going to have to read out some of the statistics for you so you can get the gist of it. So first I'll just tell you the total for the whole year. We drove 15,784.3 miles. That's a lot of miles, but the trip miles is what's really added on to that. We consumed a total of 314.81 gallons. The total cost, and that includes electrical cost, by the way, was $702.94. we averaged, for all driving, 50.14 miles per gallon, and that's 100% from November 30th, 2016 to November 30th, 2017. So first I'm going to tell you the trips. So I'm working backwards here a little bit, but we drove 5,866 miles, 5,866.4 miles, excuse me, consuming 144.9 gallons, cost us $310.89, and we averaged 40.5 miles per gallon for trips. And that's pretty good, considering we only had 20 miles of electric only range for every 300 or 400 mile fill-up. And that was 37.16% of all of our driving was just trips. So we'll start out with 120 volt local driving, which is from November 30th, as I stated, 2016 to February 25th, 2017. And we did 2,341 miles, consumed 42.91 gallons of gas. And when I say gallons of gas, I mean equivalent. That includes electricity. And it cost us $91.19. And we averaged 55.7 miles per gallon. And that was 14.84% of all of our driving for the whole year. Was under 120 volt charging. Now I did have some 120 volt charging on trips because that's the charger I carry in the car, and I really didn't include it on this 120 volt charging log. And the reason for that is because I didn't pay for the charging. If I stayed at a motel overnight or my brother's house or something like that, I just charged. And so it didn't come out on the cost. And if anything, that probably increased my MPGs because it was what you'd call free energy. But anyway, it's a little hard to deal with every nuance of your driving and to break everything out. But anyway, the last category is 240 volt local driving, February 25th, 2017 to November 30th, 2017. We drove a total of 7,576.3 miles, consuming 126.91 gallons of gas, cost us $300.86, and we averaged 59.7 miles per gallon. And that was 48% of our driving. Now I looked at all this and I said, well, I really need to total up all the local driving. Even just sweep the 120 volt into the 240 volt log. So the total for all local driving, and that would be November 30th, 2016 to November 30th, 2017, was 9,917.9 miles, consuming 169.82 gallons of gas, and it cost us 392.05 cents, and we averaged 58.4 MPGs, and that was 62.84% of all of our driving. So there you have it, the total for the C Max for the whole year, almost about 220 some miles shy of 16,000 miles, 314 gallons of gasoline, $702 in cost, averaging 50.14 miles per gallon. So as you can see, without the trips, I do significantly better, but at 40.5 miles per gallon on trips, I'm really pleased with that. If I took my truck, I'd be only averaging maybe 20 miles per gallon. So it's double what my truck will do on the highway. So we are planning on getting a pure electric car in the spring of 2021. That's when our truck will be paid off. Our truck will be paid off in December of 2020, and I'll be able to afford new car payments, and might be able to recycle our Ford C Max to my daughter, who could use some more energy efficient driving. And but I like to refer to a plug-in hybrid electric car like the Ford C Max Energi as a gateway drug to a full-blown addiction to a BEV or a battery electric vehicle. I'd like to put all my miles on electric driving, and the reason for that is we charge the car primarily on solar power. Sometimes we end up charging it at night for various reasons, but we have 5.1 kilowatts of photovoltaics, and we're grid tie here. So during the day, let's say 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, plug the car in. It's being charged on sunshine, and I'm driving on sunshine, and that's good for me, and it's good for the planet, and I would like to do more of it. We were originally concerned about range for traveling with an all-electric car, and quite frankly, when we bought the car, there weren't that many choices available, but those choices are expanding as each passing year, and I think by spring of 2021 I'll easily be able to get a hold of a 300 plus mile range all-electric car at a reasonable price. So I'm really looking forward to that, but in the meantime, I really enjoy driving all-electric. It's anywhere from 50 to 60% of all of our local driving is in all-electric mode. So a plug-in hybrid electric, if that's what you can get your hands on, that's what you can afford, it's certainly a really good option. And so I'm going to leave it there, and I've published this data on the Southern New Mexico Electric Vehicle site on Facebook, and also published this data on EchoMotor, and my garage is on EchoMotor where the data is kept. So anyway, I'll let you go. And oh yeah, recently we got a decal for the car that says "I fuel up at home," and the U and up is an electric plug, and it's right over the charging port. No one ever sees it though. I think we're the only ones where it's even there. Anyway, there you go. One little revolution at a time. See you down the road. Take care, everybody.